And we back. Welcome back to another episode of Three and Impossible. You know who it be. It's your boy DRE repping that 3MP. And you know I'm back here with my brothers from another mother. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Oh, I'm going first.
Jay.
No, because you know, it's your boy A-Rob from the South Side.
With a new mustache.
Freshly cut.
Introduce your
man.
mustache.
It ain't there no more. It's gone.
Introduce that upper lip, nigga.
Y'all niggas mad. I know somebody that like it. Y'all niggas.
Back for the first time since puberty. A-Rob's upper lip.
Yeah, man.
This
Y'all niggas
is Jay
mad.
Gill from the southernmost tip, Southside Minneapolis. And we have a special guest today. It's family. I don't know what you want to say. You don't have to say your full name. You can just be L Dog or whatever, however you want to.
Hell no.
However you want to introduce. I'm gonna put your
name. Lonnia is good.
Okay. So we have Lonnia in the building, and she is going to.
Wait. From what side? No.
Oh,
Yeah, let us know where you repping from.
Oh, I'm from Northside.
North. But you're from. Oh, you are from. I forgot that.
Yeah, I'm Northside.
I forgot
You
about
sound
that.
disappointed, Jay Gill.
I was gonna say I wouldn't have brought no more Northsiders out here if I had known. But anyway, thank you for coming on with us today, Lonnie. And we are here to speak on marriage, even though only two of us will ever have gotten any experience on the subject. And I wonder if anyone can guess guess the two who ain't never get married.
Well, it's kind of hard. If I'm gonna be a stepdaddy, I kind of gotta get married, nigga. So, you contradicting yourself.
No, in the black community, you can be like sister, brother, husband, bae, without any legal papers or anything.
It's the handsome ones that don't get married, remember?
Right. That's right. CJ did say the ugly niggas get married.
Okay. Well, welcome to the crew with that mustache cut. Anyway.
Yes, I'm gonna be ringed up in a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, anyway, before we waste too much time, I wanted to give a brief history of marriage that I looked up, and it was kind of I don't want to say sad to read about, but it was like marriage was basically to make alliances, expand labor force, and peace treaties. That's why marriage got started, which of course made me think, all these people who are fighting for what marriage is and should be kind of seems silly, because marriage comes from, back in the Jon Snow days.
Nigga, did you just refer Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yeah. Because, whatever, man. You didn't get it.
What is the definition you have of marriage?
The definition?
Yeah.
It was to make alliances, expand labor force, and peace treaties. I think you get it.
Okay, but here, wait. Let me just rewind a couple episodes ago when you was like, "Yo, y'all could have got 2 stimulus checks if y'all were married." It's a financial move.
Yeah, you got it.
So
It is. Yeah,
what we talking about?
Yeah. I told you. I did say that. If you only got 1,200, that was a choice. So,
Why you sweating, brother?
but anyway, then the Catholic Church, when they kind of came into power, it became more monogamous at that point. They really pushed for monogamy in marriage, and they kind of, I don't want to say stole, but they kind of took over the narrative of what marriage is from that point. Because before then, again, peace treaties, alliances, labor force. That's what it was.
I can see that, like the old families would marry to combine forces and like.
But that
Europe
leads me
stuff.
into my first question, you guys. That leads me into my first question. We kind of, everybody's seen what the Will and Jada. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stuff's going on with my computer. It's all good. You can leave that in episode. Stuff's going on with Will and Jada. We got August Asina. I don't know how to say his last name. Correct me if y'all want. Apparently, he had a relationship with Jada Pinkett, who we all know is married to Will Smith. And, we want to talk about it today. So my first question is, what do you guys think about the Will, Jada, and August situation? We'll start with our guest.
Honestly, until a response, I did not care. I honestly didn't care. I'm like, because there's always three sides to a story, so we were only getting a portion of it. So it's kind
This
of
time
like
there's three for sure.
yeah. So it's like trying to get the rest of the story and kind of see how it developed, until then. But now that we have more of the story, I think it makes a little more sense and stuff like that. But at first, I honestly was just like, I just truly don't care enough to care about it. But.
And well, today they kind of cleaned it up, right? They went on Red Table, and I'm gonna keep it short. Basically, what they said is Will and Jada were going through whatever they were going through. They were pretty much done. Their relationship was pretty much over, although they weren't divorced. Although us as public didn't see that, right? Mm-hmm. And she, during that time, she got into a relationship with August, and
an entanglement.
You got it. She got entangled, and then when her and Will fixed it, she stopped messing with August.
Was the entanglement physical or emotional? Just so we're clear.
I feel like.
So really, it didn't really. I don't think it really got into it, but I
feel like they did their best. She did her best to dance around it, and even August, they never came out and said, "Hey, we did the deed."
Yeah.
I mean, the main thing she even just said herself, the whole point of that entanglement, she just wanted to feel good. So
yeah.
We don't know how to take that. I mean, it could have been just more of a mental state thing, but we don't know.
Yeah. When I first heard about it, though, I thought August was wrong. Even if it did happen, right? Yeah. Why are you airing that out now, right?
I still think he's on that level. Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Yeah, just keep that hidden. There was no need for you to bring that up. It clearly had settled. It had ended. Mm-hmm. And you bring this back up for what? What was the point of him bringing it back? That's how I took it initially. It was like, yo, why is he even bringing this up? If it ended, it ended. You don't need to bring it up. They married. They together again.
Right. Well, I think that's why he brought it up, though, because it sounded like when she said when she ended things with him, he kind of just cut all communications off with her. So he might have felt some type of way, you know what I mean? And then felt the need to bring it up or say something, because he was feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you kind of answered it, but I was going to challenge you too and say, why can't he live his truth? Why can't he speak his truth in this situation? This clearly impacted him. He clearly, I don't want to, he said it himself that he's loved another person. Why can't he express that? He does music. He's in the entertainment business, and Jada knew that when they got entangled. So why can't he, why is it so wrong for him to speak his truth?
Well, could he have said that and left Jada and Will's name out of it is the thing, right? Instead of bringing it up and, I had a relationship with Jada. I had a relationship with a woman who was married, was maybe separated at the time, not legally divorced. And I really fell for her instead of saying, it was Jada Pinkett Smith, right? Could you have just left her name out and spoke on the situation without having to, drag them back into the spotlight with it as well?
Yeah.
If someone's hiding you, though, I think he was being hidden clear. Well, not too well, right? We've seen pictures.
But we didn't think anything of those pictures until stuff started to come out, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if he's wrong. I do think I would have handled it differently. But then again, if I'm in the music industry and that's how I'm making my bread, and that's the inspiration to make my song, it is what it is.
But people do that all the time, right? Like Drake, because you guys make fun of me listening to Drake. Drake puts stuff in songs all the time that is innuendos, right? People are trying to guess and figure out, oh, well, was he talking about this girl or that girl? He mentioned the Hadid twins on one of his songs, and everybody's like, oh, was he talking about Bella? Him in The Weeknd, so. But that's how you drum up interest too, right? Trying to figure out J. Cole. We just spoke on J. Cole and his. He never said No Name's name, but now it's people are like, oh, he was talking about such, and it drums up interest about the thing. So, I personally,
they're in the business of drumming up interest,
right? So, yeah, I don't know.
You notice he didn't really have anything to say until it was time for a rollout, right? Until he's putting a song out or until he's trying to sell that album. So I agree with you guys in that there's something that feels wrong.
They mentioned that too, though. They mentioned Will and Jada mentioned that like, why now? You know what I mean? Like, this happened years ago. Why are you just now saying something about it? So yeah, I think that's a interesting point. I don't think it's coincidental.
Yeah.
Well, Dre, their little explanation. We weren't together. You know, Will said I was done with her. Do you believe any of that?
I mean, I could see maybe, because we don't know what goes on behind the doors in their marriage. There could have been a point in their marriage where they were actually done with each other, where they were ready just to call it quits. So them separating at that time was probably, I guess, a give and a curse for their marriage in a way. I mean, granted, it popped up this BS with August, but it gave them a chance to realize that they did want to continue the marriage and be with each other. So I think it is possible that situation happened. So
I think they lied. I mean, because I think Will is a real one. I think Jada is a real one. And I think she would have did the same for him. Clearly, maybe not clearly. But from a million miles away, it's clear that their relationship is different, that it is not just them two. You know, there's clearly partners here and there. And I think they both do what they want to do. And I'm cool with that. But don't lie to me. Don't pick on me and tell me it's raining.
Huh? What part are you cool with? Just so
No. I'm cool with them. I'm cool with them doing what they do. I'm cool with them doing what they do is what I'm saying. But don't lie. Right. But then again, you know, you lie to the public if you want. But I think it was the best thing they could come up with to kind of break out of this, right? Because they probably won't address this again. Like, they drop this here. People will assume it's the truth because it's Will and Jada versus August, a lesser known individual, a lesser talented individual maybe. And I think they did a good job of that, but I don't believe it.
Do y'all think that their red table talk was enough though? Like, I felt like they skirted around the issue most of the talk. Like, I didn't feel like they really directly addressed anything. I felt like they were like, oh, well, you know, at this point we were, you know, separated. So whatever you did was kind of okay, but now we're back together. Like, why is it? Like, I just felt like they didn't really touch on it head on. Yo, did you bang Austin or August or not? Like, that's what we need to know.
But even August said it wasn't, he didn't necessarily say they slept together. He said that they had a relationship together. I think as the public, that's what we care about. Like, that's all we care about as the
that's
public.
What I want to know.
What is they messing around?
That's all the public wants. Y'all fucking or not? Like, what's good?
Like, yo, why you skirting around the issues? Like, yo, did they do it with this entanglement? Like, what were we entangling? Like,
are you guys okay? Or let me say it this way. Could you ever see yourself in an open relationship?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I know.
I don't think like people do it, like it's a thing, like poly is definitely a thing and stuff like that, but personally I just think I require too much attention. So
okay, I'm not mad at that.
Not necessarily a security thing. It's just like, having a partner being available when you need them to be available versus them splitting themselves amongst multiple people, you know.
What if it's just one other person?
That's too much.
Well, I know y'all will never get married, so let me rephrase the question. If you just had a girlfriend,
opinion, Mr. Married,
yeah, right. That's what I was going to say.
Hear your opinion, Mr. Married Man.
You and Rhonda.
Yeah, let's hear about this.
Listen, if we had as much money as Will and Jada, and because that's part of it, and you know, I think that's part of it. I think that allows them to live that kind of life that us broke niggas can't do that. You know.
I think one extra thing
can't afford can't afford two mansions, one for my side thing, or you know, our house ain't big enough to have, you know, one joker on one end and somebody with no.
But if it's open, why would it matter?
Yeah,
I think I could. I know I'm lying.
That boy reeled it in quick.
I don't think I could have.
Brother, dig that hole, brother.
No, I couldn't come in the room and then just feel like Janelle is more invested in someone else than me. I think that would hurt. So I'm lying. I don't think so. Yeah. Maybe if we got money and we've been together, we're sick of each other, we're not sleeping together, because I tend to believe Will and Jada are like partners. They're not necessarily physically involved.
But still, even with that, like, it takes a lot of energy to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? So it's just like, would you rather take that energy to invest into another relationship while you're still in a relationship, or just reinvest that energy back into your relationship to rekindle what you need to be rekindled for it to continue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me personally, I couldn't do that. Just like from an emotional bond standpoint, right? If you're trying to bond with somebody and develop a deeper connection emotionally, if I know you're not committing yourself fully to that, what's the point of me committing myself fully to it either, right? Like if you got one toe in the water and I got my whole foot in the water, like eventually you're gonna pull that toe out and be like, I want to see what else is, you just testing things. So I don't think I could actually be in a relationship and be open to that person giving parts of themselves to another person.
I don't think you guys are putting yourselves in their shoes. You've been together, you've gone through whatever you've gone through, and you got grays now. Let me ask you this: would you ever consider an open marriage, or I think Will and Jada call it a life partnership, instead of divorce? And don't think of it like this 30-something-year-old guy, this 30-something-year-old woman, or 20. You know what? Never mind. I don't know how old L Dog is. I don't know how old Lonnia is, and it doesn't matter. But when you are older, could you see yourself maybe going that route instead of divorcing? And you've got kids. Maybe they're a little older, but maybe they're still in the house. You got a mansion.
You have less energy. Like, yo, I'm tired. Like, can we just chill? Like, can we just, trying to rekindle and try to build relationships with a new person after 35? No, I'm straight.
Yeah, after some point, you're just looking for somebody to die with.
Exactly.
So.
Will and Jada ain't thinking about dying at their age. They're not that old. I'm just saying, you in your 40s, you in your early 50s, y'all got money, y'all done been together, you sick of each other. You would. It sounds like you guys would prefer to divorce.
Actually, Jada did say something about that though on her previous Red Table Talk. She said that instead of going divorce and getting her separated, she's like, I stay on this side of your house and you stay on that side of the house, and that's how we'll live our lives. Instead of getting. And Will has said multiple times his number one rule of marriage is never getting a divorce. So that could be possible.
I think it's twofold too, right? Like, one, how long have you been together? What all have you been through? Right, to say, if you've been together for like a year and you guys haven't really built that many memories, you probably see a split at that point. But if you're 20 plus years in, you've been through some things, right? You've raised some kids together. So splitting, what else are you looking for at that point? Like, are you looking for an emotional connection? Are you just looking for somebody to make you feel young again? Like, are you looking for somebody that's exciting, right? Like, for me, it's like, if you've been through so many things together, what else do you want out of life than somebody to experience those same things with, right? So, like, at that point, it's like, if I've been with you for 20, 30 years, what am I going to do with the new person that I haven't done with you? And am I going to compare those same things that I'm doing with them to the things that I've done with you? So, I mean, if you feel like, hey, we're just going to still have a cordial relationship, then why split? Like, if it's not going to be just a hard break, why split?
Maybe they're cordial because they're doing what they're doing. Maybe them trying to be together, maybe that wasn't going to last. And maybe this allows them to continue to be cordial. You got to, that's how I'm seeing it.
By being with other people?
Mm-hmm, because I do think that's the only thing that's true. When Will said I was done with you, I think there probably was a point. I don't know if it was a few years ago, but I think there was a point where they were maybe going to divorce, and then they decided, I don't know which one of them was smooth enough to be like, hey, how about we do this life partnership thing, and you do what you want to do, and I do what I want to do. We stay together.
Right. And I can sort of speak on experience as far as like the separation thing, but still remaining it becomes toxic. You know what I mean? It does become toxic, because it's just like you're there, but you're not there. You know what I mean? You guys both are in a relationship, but you're not in a relationship, and it becomes toxic, and it's just not healthy. So that's probably a part of it too, So it's kind of like we gonna do it or not. Like, it's just like the in between thing. I imagine that.
And eventually, what they found out was it just brought them right back together, right? Yeah. So like everything that you were searching for brought you right back together with your quote unquote life partner. So I think that was interesting too, what they said about each trying to find their own happiness, right? Mm-hmm. So like when they were at the Red Table Talk, they were like, Jada and Will were both like, well, you need to go figure out what made you happy. Yeah. And I need to figure out what made me happy. I think you got to, well, you know, and I've been a single for forever, but I think you got to do that in a relationship regardless though, right? Yeah. Like you can't depend on somebody else for your happiness, right? You've got to find ways to make yourself happy. And if they add to that, then that's beneficial. But if not,
it's not anybody's responsibility. Your happiness is not anybody else's responsibility other than yours. Yeah. That, you know, and it's just, like you say, you should add to each other's happiness, but I shouldn't be responsible for you being happy because only you can control that, you know, so that's not really fair.
Don't tell Janelle that. I don't hear that shit. I don't hear that shit. So you need to help. Dre, I'm going to start with you with this question. Well, it doesn't have to be for Dre. I don't mean to aim this at you, but we're gonna aim it at you anyway. Have you ever experienced a situation, relationship where the other person wanted to be involved with you and another party? If so, how did you react? This came from Robert, so I expect interesting. Hold on. I expect an interesting question answer from you, sir.
I mean, yeah, I've been in a relationship where it was to that point where we were together, but we weren't dating. And it was slowly becoming toxic. It was, but we were like exclusively still messing with each other, but we would still go out and go on different dates and stuff. But then eventually that's when she came and she was like, I want to see about pursuing someone else. I was like, bet, go ahead. Because technically we're not dating. So I'm like, we're just in each other's life. We're company to each other right now. So she said she wanted to go pursue something else and she wanted to go, in a way, find her happiness. I was like, by all means, go ahead. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I have no power to hold you back for anything. We're not committed no more. So go ahead.
You didn't punch at the air or nothing? You would?
No, I didn't Cuba Gooding Jr. from Boys in the Hood. I wasn't punching the air and all that.
Well, since this was your question, Robert, what's up? What happened? What happened, Robert?
Who is Robert for the 19th episode in a row?
This ain't that situation in Iowa, was it?
No, we weren't committed to each other. I wasn't hurt. I was hurt by that.
Oh God.
I ain't gonna say I wasn't hurt by that, right? I was hurt by it, but we weren't together. So in like the scheme of things, I could be mad. Like I shouldn't have been mad because we weren't together, but I was mad, right? Because as you're trying to build something with somebody or figure out if you're trying to build something with somebody, I don't feel like you should be entangling with other people. Like that don't make sense to me. Like, so for me, if I'm with the partner, or I guess not, if we're talking, and I guess some people look at it differently. Like, so when I start talking to somebody, I'm cutting other people off because I'm trying to commit to see if that actually works. And maybe that's one of my downfalls is giving up, other people trying to pursue one thing if I'm not sure that's going to work. But back to the situation, if we're together, we're committed, and you tell me you want to see other people, no, it's over. Like, no, just because like, if I'm sitting here trying to give all of myself and you like, well, I like you, but
I like
over
you.
here,
I like you.
Yeah, like you filet mignon, but I also like steak from Manny's over here. So I'm gonna try to go, taste with this steak. You want to come along and get some steak too? No, I don't want to. You go get the steak and forget the filet mignon.
Let's just say in another life you were married. Another life you were married. You really love this person. That's just it. She can't go out and have her August?
What choice do I have at that point? If she wants to pursue something else, it's going to only be worse for me long term.
She wants you too, though.
But it's...
You can't have your cake and eat it, too. You can't have your cake and eat it, too.
She's still like the salad, but she, every now and then, she wants a T-bone steak.
Fuck
Damn,
that.
he
You
called
can't
you a
have your cake.
salad.
Salad. That's what I was gonna say. Hold on. How did I go from filet mignon to salad? Like I went
Damn,
from
nigga,
the
you went to a whole side salad.
Because most of the time she wants to eat healthy. She wants to eat right. She wants to get her vegetables, her vitamin K. But
nobody does that.
Every now and then, it's like, yo, I got these teeth for a reason. You know,
What?
I she wants some.
So what?
Keep it short. She wants some meat.
How did I know you were gonna go there? And Dre just set it up perfectly. Like, want some what? No,
Because I saw it in his eyes. He wanted to say it.
let me paint the scene. You can't. No, not for me personally. No, it's if like I said, if I'm in a relationship and I'm committing all of myself to that relationship, trying to make it better. And if you telling me, I like what we got going, but I also want to explore something else. Mm-hmm. No, you ain't fully committed like I'm committed.
Yeah.
Right.
So, no,
I think there should be like a discussion that's like ahead of time. You know what I mean? Then it'll be different. Like if y'all talked about it and discussed it, but no, if one person's under one impression and giving 110%, the other person's under another and giving 75, like that's not. Yeah, it's not.
No.
That's not fair.
Well.
What about you? No. What about you, brother? Let's say
repeat the question.
It's a Friday night. You offer 2 of them apple orchards. Janelle come in the room and say, "Hey, I want to explore some other options."
Bob,
other men. Let's paint the scene. You 2 apple orchards in, so you feeling yourself. You probably halfway drunk at this point. She come in, she's off the wine. She done had half the bottle, and she say to you, Justin, I want to explore another option with somebody I met at work or wherever. What you gonna say?
When you say she wants to explore an option, does she want to be with just that person, or she want to be with me, and does she want to mess around with that guy? She wants
to be with you, and she want to have an entanglement with somebody else.
So let me ask this: are we in our 50s?
Nah, nigga.
Does it matter?
Do I have options as well? Because now I might have a different answer for you.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
Let's start with the question.
I ain't gonna be sitting at home waiting for my wife to get off of her date.
That's selfish.
I ain't gonna be sitting at home waiting for my wife to get off her date.
Okay, so let's paint the scene. Scenario 1: you don't have any other options, right? That's why you in bed drinking your apple orchards.
Crying.
Now she come in and approach you with that out of the blue. You ain't see it coming. What's your reaction? You don't have
no. We done. We're done at that moment because me personally, I feel like even if she hasn't made any moves at that point, her bringing that to me is something I'll never now get to unhear. I'm out. I'm out at that moment.
And you got
Janelle, pack your shit up and get out my house.
She pay half the mortgage
and send half the mortgage payment every month.
Scenario 2: you got other options. Rhonda.
Whole Rhonda.
Is Rhonda a freak? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
You tell us. You know her.
If we're in our 50s, we got money. She wants to be with other people. I want to be with other people, but we still want to be together. Let's try it. You can always break up later.
What?
So situation.
I'm bullshit. Hell no.
Situation.
If I got a situation I want to be in, and she got a situation she want to be in, well, I don't know. I don't see myself feeling good about it if she brings it to me.
Oh, but it would change if you brought it to her.
I'm just being honest, man. We're all selfish. Stop faking it.
So if you brought it to her, you would feel cool with it.
Obviously, but I don't think I could bring it to her. But obviously, if I brought it to somebody, I'm cool with it. I thought about it. But no, that would be a tough one. I wonder how Jay, Will, and Jada, who is the smooth one that can basically get whatever the hell they want.
What if Will didn't know about it till now?
Well, he said he said something like, "I'm gonna get you back." She said, "Oh yeah, you definitely got me back." Before.
True.
So it's like, well, we don't know what Will did. He might just might got somebody who's a little cooler about it and didn't have to blast the information.
See, me personally, I think this was mostly Will's ideal. I think Jada was open to it. She was the right person. But I think Will's the one who came to her like, look, man, you go find you a August. I'll go find me a September. You know,
Even
and I think
Will's
it just
idea, he was the one in the odd position because August said he gave him the blessings to go through.
But Jada said that wasn't correct. She said that was a lie.
But look how cool Will Smith was about it. Like, that's what makes me think he's the damn mastermind behind this.
That nigga looked hurt like he did in Pursuit.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looked hurt to me.
No, he's an actor, brother.
You didn't think he looked hurt?
The eyes don't lie, brother.
Right, I was gonna say he couldn't even look at her.
Eyes don't lie.
Because it's embarrassing for both of them. And he probably is mad that she picked this rapper or singer. And, you know, he probably knew it was going to blow up like, oh, you want this dude? Okay, we going to get snitched on.
We going to get snitched on.
I don't think he's mad at Jada for being with another man. He might be mad at Jada for being with that man.
That dude.
What you got against August?
I mean, I prefer July. That's all.
Okay.
Y'all ain't like that one? Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, when it comes to marriage, again, we have two people who will never get married here. Don't have any experience. But you guys have been in, you've seen loving relationships, right? Maybe?
One-sided.
Is marriage flawed?
You tell us. You married?
I mean, how are we supposed to know?
You married?
Well, I'm just saying, is the institution of marriage flawed? Because 50%, I think it's actually over 50%, but everywhere I'm looking for the number, it always says about 50% of people end up getting divorced. So is marriage flawed? And if it's not flawed, why do 50% of people get divorced?
I think
what are the statistics, though?
Social media.
The statistics is for every two people who get couples that get married, one of them get divorced. That's the statistic.
I mean, the reason why. I'm sorry.
I didn't look up the reasons why. They got reasons why on Google too.
Social media, nigga. I think it's
the reasons why are usually finances and sex. That's what I've heard are the top reasons. So not necessarily infidelity.
And the gram.
And the gram. I think Dre touched on a good point, but I also think it's generational too, right? Like if you look at older couples, they're willing to stick through things more so than our generation is, and to say, I'm just going to fight through it. You know, I may not have liked it. Even look at Will and Jada, right? They're 40, 48, 51. They still stuck through it, right? But I think you see with our generation, with the rise of social media and the quick availability of things, people want to get what they want, right? So it's like, I hate to use this analogy, but
swipe away.
Yeah, but you just dangling meat in front of people. It's easier to see other options, right? But I hate to, okay, you're dangling candy in front of other people.
You could think of nothing else.
Damn it, Rob, we don't need to know about your love life, all right?
No, just like, it's just so easy for people to say, hey, I'm having trouble.
Rob be like, and when they be dangling it, you oh, never mind.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's easier for people nowadays to see, like, have issues in their relationships, see something else and be like, yo, I want that. And social media brings it closer to you. Because, you know, a smooth slide in the DM and a response makes you feel like you can touch that. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's more tangible now with social media. Like, you can actually get to people easier, have those connections, or even false connections, right? Because who people are online aren't necessarily who they are in real life. But I think that forces our generation to feel like, you know, I may have said I wanted this, but I ain't know what I really wanted. This is what I really want. It's easier to hop. So
I think you kind of went into a little bit. I was going to challenge you, and actually, Lonnia, you can jump in on this. Did the older groups, did the women in particular feel they had the ability to leave compared to today, where now women have more options? If we're just being honest, they have more options. You can't, you know, they're not based on They don't have to wait on you to pay all the bills.
Yeah, JL.
You're talking about from like the rise of like being like more financially independent than they were in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because you were saying the older people, they stuck together. Well,
They did.
But did they do it because of finances? Did women
Doesn't matter.
have the
They stuck
freedom?
together.
I think back then it was just kind of like no choice. You know what I mean? It's just like we're getting married and that's it. Like there's no other options. And then our parents came along and then there was like, no, divorce is definitely an option. And then we come along and they were like, yeah, divorce is an option, poly's an option, we can have open marriage. You know what I mean? I think it's just two, like how many of us actually seen successful marriages, you know, within the household, you know, like it's sad to say, but
I didn't.
Huh?
I did not.
I did not either. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you basing, who do you go to then? You know what I mean? When you're in trouble or when you know, and a lot of times when you're in the marital problems, you're like, this is only me, but actually it's every marriage, you know?
Okay. It just makes me feel like the things you guys are describing, like 50% of people getting divorced, it makes me feel like maybe we aren't necessarily meant to be with one person forever. Maybe it's just kind of what we've been tricked into believing is right. And maybe it does also feel right to have one person to yourself, right? We're selfish. Maybe this just ain't the way, you know, maybe sticking with one thing, whatever it is, or person, or, you know, forever, you know, it's just really not. You're going to get sick of them at some point. There's going to be a break. Your relationship can't always be good.
But does the good outweigh the bad?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people are going to make it through, but again, half of people aren't. You know, is marriage successful if 50% of marriages are failing? I'd have to say no. That's an F, baby. 50%. Right?
I think people have lost the thing like of having opposite sex friends. Like you should still be able to be married and still go like and kick it with somebody and it not have to turn into a romantic relationship. I think people always feel like if you enjoy somebody of the opposite sex, it has to be romantic. Mm-hmm. It has to go into that versus why can't we just, you know, hey, my wife, my husband, they don't like to eat sushi, but you like to eat sushi. We're cool. Let's go eat sushi together and have some conversation. You know, I think we always have to turn it into a romantic thing.
Yeah, good luck with that, Lonnia. You know, just being a guy myself and knowing at least two guys, like, yeah,
what you trying to say about that?
Janelle hanging out with every girl you hang out with, you trying to date. Every single one.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a bad influence regardless, so
that's not true for me.
That's not true.
I got female friends that I have
not
tried to date.
Name one.
I'm not gonna put their names on the episode.
Because you a liar. Because you a liar. You a liar. Dre. What friends that are women that are in your phone, you don't gotta name them. Do you have more than one that if the opportunity presented itself, you wouldn't try to be with it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You niggas lying.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I got at least two female friends I wouldn't pursue a relationship with. I'm fine with just being friends with them.
It's the thing. Like you don't have to make everything into a relationship. Just because you enjoy somebody doesn't necessarily mean y'all for each other.
And that's the thing. Society's always trying to put a title on something. They see two people together, like, oh, what's going on there?
Yeah. Now you sounding like Will and Jada.
You just got similar personalities. You just enjoy the same stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like it don't mean you got to make it a romantic thing.
Exactly. And I think more married couples are open to that, like having friends and have that, especially of the opposite sex, it would be more of this, you know what I mean? Because I think people just get bored of each other. It's not necessarily the sex, you know, like there's other aspects of it.
Oh, it's just sex.
Rob, I can't take you serious about your fucking mustache.
I actually like this look.
That just makes an argument. So.
Right. No, but I think it's important too, like I touched on earlier, like you have to be happy alone, right? Like you can't depend on other people for your happiness. So if you ain't happy alone, you trying to search for somebody else to make you happy, it's gonna end in that relationship gonna end the same way that this one did because you just ain't happy. Like period.
When you have to depend on somebody else for your happiness, you're always gonna lose.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we realize that until we're already in relationships. You know what I mean? Like you realize that, like, oh damn, like I'm depending on somebody else for my happiness, and they're not making me happy. And I'm, you know what I mean? That you guys just end up both miserable because y'all didn't take the time to create your own happiness. You know, you depend on each other. Yeah.
Well, if I had some final words, I think maybe if you're in a relationship and y'all haven't been through anything yet, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. You know, maybe we need to really learn each other better. Mm-hmm. You know, we're getting married at 20 and 21 and 22, and mm-hmm. we're getting married after 1 year of knowing someone or 2 years. Maybe the way we're going about it is why we end up with 50% of marriages failing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, when you know, you know. I don't know.
And then half of you get divorced.
Well, I had a closing kind of question for you guys in regards to, Jay Gill, a comment you made earlier as far as maybe we're not meant to just be with one person the entire life. What more would you want, I guess, from life as you look at it from a partner aspect, right? Like as you're trying to build something and go through life with people, what more would you want outside of just one partner? If y'all want, I could start. No, Dre gonna start.
Yes.
Why I gotta start?
No, he gonna ask this ridiculous
I'll answer it first. So me, it's like, for me, as I look at my life, right, I want one person that I build all these experiences with that turn into special moments. So, you know, taking trips, right, traveling, seeing the world, raising kids, marriage, like those are the type of things I want to see myself with one person doing those type of things, right, to build those memories. And for me, that's like the pinnacle, right? Like that's the peak, is I found somebody that I enjoy spending time with and enjoy sharing these experiences with. And like, that's all I'd want out of a life partner. I don't want multiple people to share these experiences with, so it doesn't seem as special as it would with one person. I just want one person. So
what you think you want?
Shut up, Justin.
No, I mean,
Janelle should have made you sign a prenup.
Listen, ain't no prenups for between two broke people. Ain't no, where we go? You can't get none of my nothingness when we break up. I guess I'm with you there, A-Rob. I think I prefer to have one person, but I think I'm going to keep an open mind in those latter years. You know, one day I might just want to feel young again. I might be 50. You know, might want to. You know, might want to.
Dusty ass at 50, nigga.
I know. I'm gonna be bald or all gray or what? What about you, Dre? What you want in a marriage that you ain't never gonna have?
Well, the marriage, hopefully I have one day. I'm just trying to find someone I could have experience with, trying to travel with, smoke some good weed with, and have a nice drink with. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to kick it and chill. It don't matter.
Well, what about you, Lonnia?
Maybe it's because I heard like the Jada part, but I think the one thing that they said is having be with somebody that you can make mistakes with and know they're still going to be your rider. Because it's just like that's significant, because you're going to mess up, especially in a marriage. You're going to mess up. So having that to know, like regardless of, you know, not saying like be just out there doing stupid stuff and expecting to be able to come home, but just knowing that I have room to be human and mess up and know that somebody's still going to be there. And, you know, kind of, you know, and just echo back off what you guys said, so, you know, experiencing life together and being and just that, having somebody that equally values you as much as you value them, you know, loving people, like all aspects of them, not just the good stuff, but the ugly stuff that comes with them, you know. And happiness, you know, like I said, I don't feel that people need each other. You know, you need food and water. I don't need anybody, and it's much more significant to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, you know?
Right. Okay.
Drizzy?
Okay.
I said my part.
He said his part. Damn.
Well, man, I was.
Oh, you, nigga.
Hey, don't come closer to the screen with that mustache, please.
It's all gonna be gone next week. Chop, chop.
Lonnia, whose teeth are whiter?
Oh my god.
Why he asked everybody this, bro? Your teeth aren't whiter than mine.
Put them up there. Put them up on the screen. Put them up on the screen.
Jay Gill bought a ring light just so his teeth will shine more.
That I'm telling you.
He bought a ring light. You bought a ring light.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? He got one of those his smiles, like the little brightener things. He be walking around with them. He be putting it in, walking around.
Personally, I think my teeth are pearly white and yours are kind of, they kind of mixed.
I'm not. Where did this obsession come from about my teeth? Like,
Those
it
mixed
came
babies.
Off the episode, we ain't worried about your damn teeth.
but when we was talking about your eyelashes, you wanted to throw that in every conversation.
Yes, because none of y'all.
Yeah, okay.
It.
Well, this has been another episode. No, this has been another episode of 3 in the Possible, baby.